Hey, welcome back, welcome back. So this video topic is going to be, can you talk about the claims process? What is the claims process? Okay, so the last video I talked about once you're in an accident, the steps you need to take and what you need to do, right? Call your insurance company. Once you get them on the phone or you file the claim online, this is where the insurance claims process actually begins. All right, so they are going to ask you for the type of claim you're filing. So that goes back to the coverage video that I already did. Are you filing a comprehensive claim, or did you get in an accident with somebody? Did that person that hit you admit fault? Did they stay at the scene? Did they hit you or you hit them? Did they run off? Was the vehicle towed? Where was it towed from? Where did the accident happen? When did the accident happen? Did you have any witnesses? They're going to gather all this information. Did you file a police report? Did the police show up? They're going to gather all this information because that information helps put together a timeline for them. So they need to know, did all this happen while you were their customer, right? Or did you forget to make your payment, the policy cancel, and then you had the accident? Or did you have the accident and then run home, start a policy, and try to get coverage? Both of those scenarios, no good. It's fraud. You'll go to jail. I'll do a video on that at some other point in time. So once you provide all that information, verbally, they're going to ask you for documents. So did you have to pay for a tow? If so, no problem. You'll get reimbursed. But we need the receipt. We can't go with, oh, my cousin Ronnie, he has a tow truck, he came to get me. Okay, well, we need to speak to cousin Ronnie. What's his phone number? He's going to help support your story. If there's a police report, they'll ask you to upload that. The police report will actually give facts about the incidents. Did anybody get a ticket? Who was the one that ran the red light? Who was the one that's actually was in control of the intersection or making the right of way? The police report will give the adjusters details, and that will help them in the investigation. So the first adjuster you speak to in the claims process is going to be your liability adjuster. The liability adjuster is someone who's going to, like I said, gather all of these initial details. They're going to speak to both parties, and then they're going to determine who's at fault and how much fault to assign. All right, so if someone rear ends you, that's pretty much going to be 100% at fault on the other party. But if you get rear-ended and then pushed into something else, they might be 100% at fault for the rear, and then you might be 50% at fault for the damage to the other vehicle you get pushed into. So it all really depends on the details. But after you speak to that liability adjuster, they're going to ask you if you're injured. If you have any injuries, then your claim gets assigned to a medical adjuster. They're bodily injury adjusters, pretty much. They're the ones the attorneys are always talking about and things like that. And then they will determine a compensation, a dollar amount based on the details, the damages. Was it a low speed, high velocity impact, things like that. And then they have ranges of dollar amounts that to offer you. So you don't have to accept their offer. I'll do a whole nother video on that. I'm tired of saying I'll do a video on that, but that's why I'm doing this channel, because there's so much information that I got to get out of this brain and get to you all. And once it's out there, it's out of my head, and it can work and hopefully help somebody in the event that they end up in a claim. After the liability or bodily injury adjusters, you still need to get your car inspected and evaluated, okay? This is where the auto damage adjuster comes in. They're going to assign your claim depending on if it's a light type of damage, like a rear end hit, a bumper, a scratch, a scrape, a small dent, things like that. That'll determine whether or not a field adjuster is going to come to you or your job, or if they're going to give you a photo estimate. So what the photo estimate is initially, if you watched the last video, I showed you how to upload photos to the to the claims process so you can get a good estimate. So after you upload those photos, the auto damage adjuster will get it. He or she is gonna write a really quick, brief estimate that's gonna go over just pretty much the highlighted damages. All right. So one thing people always accuse the insurance company of doing, or being cheap and not paying the full amount. Well, you got to kind of use some logic here. So if I told you to upload a picture and we got a damaged bumper right here on the corner, right? And you submit pictures of only that damaged corner, I can only write an estimate based on the damages that I see. Now, logic will tell us there's more damage behind that, right? So this area here is called your quarter panel. That area goes down behind that bumper, and normally what's going to happen is when bumpers get hit, the quarter panels behind the bumpers are going to get damaged. There's clips and bumper retainers that pop out. So there's a lot more damage, is my point. So they're only going to write you an initial estimate based on those pictures. You can also have more severe or significant damages where the adjuster would come out to your home or to the body shop, and they'll write still an initial estimate, right? The insurance company doesn't repair cars. What they do is they pay for damages to the repair facilities. All right. So we need the repair facilities to show us the damage so we can pay for that. Right. So the adjuster's just going to write a very initial estimate. Okay. Your doors are scratched. No problem. We're going to put some repair time on it, so on and so forth. But they're not going to be able to write the full detailed estimate until the car gets to the shop. And then the shop disassembles that vehicle, writes an estimate, and then shows the adjuster, hey, all of this was damaged behind that bumper. All of this was damaged behind that door. All right. And once we can get the photos and the documentation, no problem, we'll pay for it. Absolutely no problem at all. And then at that point, once the car is torn down and disassembled, that's when the body shop and the insurance company is going to know roughly how long the repairs are going to take, because the repair times are actually based on the number of hours of repair that are listed on the estimate. So I'll probably do a deep dive on that on another video, because it's really information for the body shops and insurance adjusters, because they manage, they figure out how much rental to provide to you and things like that based on the estimate. But for the most part, the estimate is literally that. You can go to 3 or 4 different body shops, and they're going to give you 4 different estimates with 4 different dollar amounts. All right. So it's not necessarily that the insurance company is cheating you up front, but they're not going to overwrite the estimate either. They're not going to assume damages. So just because you get hit right here in the bumper, that doesn't mean that you do have damage to the quarter panel. That doesn't mean you do need additional bumper clips and things like that. They're not going to pay for it until they can see it. And unfortunately, the customer, just because you report it and you say, hey, I got all this damage to my trunk inside, they need to hear from a licensed repair facility to corroborate and justify those damages. All right. So again, the claims process is essentially the moment of the accident. You will call in your insurance company or file the claim online. You're going to go through what's called the FNOL process, which is the first notice of loss. So that's when you speak to a loss rep. That might be the liability adjuster. That initial person is just gathering facts about the claim, and then they're going to assign it to a liability adjuster if you're not already dealing with the liability adjuster. Depends on the company and their structure. If you're injured, you'll be talking to the bodily injury adjuster. If there's no injuries, they're going to send you to the auto damage adjuster, who's going to request pictures from you. Once they get the pictures, it's either going to be assigned to a photo estimator who's going to do just a quick estimate to get you paid, or it's going to get assigned to a field adjuster who's going to go to your house or your workplace or the body shop and then actually take those same 4-corner pictures that we talked about, and then they'll ask you to pick a body shop of your choice. They can't force you to go to any shop, or you can pick whatever shop you want. And then after you pick the shop, your shop will contact that adjuster again, letting them know the car's been disassembled and that they're ready for the supplemental inspection. So I will do a deep dive further on the estimate and the estimate process, but that's ultimately the claims process and how that works. All right, so if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll do my best to address you guys in a timely fashion. Thank you so much. It means a lot just having you watch my videos. You know, that means I'm really helping somebody. We got us a heli right there, but I'm losing my light, so I am going to go ahead and call it for today. But thank you so much. I appreciate it. Come back and see me.